Hi, my name is Amy. Today I thought I'd share with you a poem that I wrote called Soul. Before I do, I want to talk a little bit about some strategies that I've found that have helped me to connect to my inner being, my inner space, or my soul, whatever you'd like to call it. For a long time, running was actually what I used to connect to my inner space, my quietness, my stillness. I absolutely loved to run. From the time I was tiny, I would just run. Even at preschool, I would run around the tiny little track again and again. So much so that some of the other kids started to follow me. The teachers used to think it looked a little bit like The Life of Brian or Forrest Gump or something like that. And I think if they asked me why I was running, I would not have had the awareness to say, oh, I'm actually communing with my soul, or I really didn't know why I was doing it. I just loved to do it. And I think that's sort of the point, is that whatever connects us to that joy, to that just loving life, that's something that meets your soul. When I became really unwell and wheelchair bound, that connectivity disappeared for me, and that avenue to stillness really just disappeared. That was a pretty tough time for me to figure out how I could still manage my well-being while I didn't have this strategy that had just worked for me throughout my whole life. Activity and just being active and moving was something that was just such a necessity for me, that not being able to do it was kind of destroying in some ways. But what it destroyed for me was this idea of self that I had, this idea that I was an active person, and this personality that I built around it. So when all of that sort of crumbled, I realized that I wasn't any of those things. I wasn't any of my passions, my likes, my dislikes. And so I had to actually start to look at who I really am beneath all of those things, all of those preferences, I guess. So when that stripping away kind of happened, and I needed to just spend a whole lot of time with myself because that was all I was able to do. I spent a lot of time with myself and with my pain, and it actually taught me a lot about what I was holding on to within myself that was actually holding me back from freely exploring pretty much all that I had left, which was my imagination, or my ability to create worlds within myself. So running was something that I chose not to think about for a really long period of time. So while I was in a wheelchair and I couldn't really move very well, I really struggled to think about running without a deep sense of sadness sort of welling up inside myself, and this just feeling unhappy that I wasn't able to still do that. It was only really when I got to a place where I could fully accept that I can't run now, but also hold the hope of being able to do it in the future kind of together, that I was able to write this poem as a bit of a maybe a love poem to running, but it also, I guess, is a bit of a poem about life and the paths we take. So here is the poem. It's called Soul. An ode to a friend, alive with the breath of heart which picks up my heels with wings to fly, catching the wind, a pressing of chest, bringing to life a joy to exist. Upon each track I find again through pain, I am offered strength, I am gifted peace. I am moved through a meeting of spirit, a beat of feet, a song in tune with the rhythm of soul upon earth. I hasten toward, striding forward for no other reason than to run.